Should we forgive? Well, the Holy Quran says it like this. You may forgive, but I, God talking, will never forgive. See, now the God that I'm about to talk to you about now is on scene today. Thomas Jefferson couldn't deliver. I went to the Lincoln statue. And while I was in there, they had Dr. King speaking. I said, what is Dr. King doing speaking in the Lincoln Memorial? So I listened. And then I reflected on Abraham Lincoln's words. It's written there for the people to see. He said, and I hope I'm quoting it right, he said, if I could preserve the Union and keep all in slavery, I would do it. Did you hear me? And he said, if I could preserve the Union by letting half the slaves go free and keeping the others enslaved, I would do that. His aim was the preservation of the Union, not freeing you. And that's why you're still singing, we shall overcome. You've been tricked. You've been had. You've been took. In the words of Brother Malcolm, we have been deceived. Abraham Lincoln, though, in his Lincoln-Douglas debates, he said, you suffer, talking about black people, from being in America with us, and we suffer from your presence. Have you heard that before? Yes, sir. Well, go look it up. That's one thing you won't say about Farrakhan. You say he's a hate teacher, he's this, but you won't call me a liar. Look at this. He said, as long as the two of us live together, there will always be a superior and an inferior. And I, as much as any white man, want the superior position assigned to the white race. That's your aim. But he knew you was a problem. And he said, let me see if I can get rid of it. So he called some Negroes to the White House. See now, you know, when you call a Negro, not a black man, but you call a Negro who's bending and scratching with his head bent low, talking to the boss man. He said, will you Negroes accept to be separated? I will give you land in Africa. We will back you up. We will give you what you need, you know. But you'll be on your own. But we'll help you. And the Negroes said, not us. We didn't lose nothing in Africa. No. So he backed off because the Negroes didn't want it, and he probably couldn't sell it to white folks who might have still wanted our presence as what we are. You know, people play with us. You are a wonderful prey in the hand of a mighty people. But you're just a prey. And that's not spelled P-R-A-Y.
Councilman has been stunned with a taser while on his knees and then arrested.
Go to jail for interfering.
This video was provided by the police department in Prairie View, Texas, a suburb of Houston. Newly elected councilman Jonathan Miller said his fraternity brothers were practicing a step routine outside his house when a police officer stopped to investigate. Miller said he identified himself as an elected official and the resident of the home, but the police continued to question him. Miller said he was kneeling on the ground with his arms at his side when he was tasered.
In the congressional library,
Turn around. Turn around.
I'm not saying nothing.
Brought on a ship named
I'm not saying nothing.
Just do what he say. Go ahead and do what he say. Put your hand on. Put your hand on.
Watch out, Penny.
under the captaincy of Sir John Hawkins. Not in 1619, but in
Put your hands behind your back.
1555.
Put your hands behind your back.
If you subtract
Prairie View police say they are investigating the incident. They also say it's probable one of the officers at the scene was also involved in the arrest of Sandra Bland. She's the woman who was pulled over and arrested in Prairie View last July in a conflict that began.
Welcome to 30 Frames a Second. My name is Greg Lassiter. This week we have an amazing show for you. You just witnessed the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March with the Minister Reverend Farrakhan. And you just witnessed in Prairie View, Texas, the councilman that was tased in front of his own house. So don't touch that dial. We have so many things to cover today. We'll be right back.
The fact where the victim is now the perpetrator and the perpetrator is now the victim. And that just drives me crazy.
Welcome back to 30 Frames. Again, I'm Greg Lassiter, and I have no other than the man himself, the producer, the creator of 30 Frames a Second. Nat Wood, welcome to 30 Frames.
Hey, brother, how
welcome
you
to
doing?
your own show.
Hey, listen, it's good to be welcome somewhere.
There's so much that we're going to talk about today, and our viewers, listen, we're not ADD, but we want to cover everything we're going to try to cover everything today. Well, I want to cover, we want to cover, we're going to talk about the Million Man March, the 20th anniversary.
Correct.
We're going to talk about the councilman.
Correct.
We're also going to talk about no other than the Democratic convention tonight.
The debate.
The debate. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can even call them debates.
It's not even a debate. Right. They're not debating anything. They're trying to sell themselves.
Right.
And we're also going to talk about no other than the Republican.
The lunacy in the Republican Party, especially the
black guy, Ben Carson.
Right.
So let's start off with the 20th anniversary, of the Million Man March.
Good.
Now, Nat, 20 years ago, I was part of that.
Right.
You know, we all were part of that. We went down to D.C. thinking that we were going to make a change.
Right.
20 years later, things aren't the same. Things are worse, in my opinion. Things aren't worse.
Right.
Why do you think things are worse?
Because we have no plan, and let me preface this by saying, because we talk about how stupid the things are that Ben Carson says. But if you are like a social media whore like I am.
Like we are.
Right. and among your friends list are both journalists and activists and activist groups, some of which consider themselves to be quite radical.
Right.
You notice, if you notice anything right off, it's the way the activist community, the whole activist community, that community which refers to themselves as activists,
right? That's supposed to help the community.
Correct. Have descended into this downward spiral of irrelevant BS, where the only thing they actually do is cuss each other out and critique each other,
criticize.
and criticize each other. This group don't like that group, and this one, they cussing out Sharpton, they cussing out Farrakhan, they cussing out this one. But none of them have a plan in place to either address the needs of the community, build wealth and power within the community, or empower the next generation to come.
Right.
None of them.
Right.
One of the things that they talk about the Million Man March is the fact that, and let me say this, the Minister Louis Farrakhan is indeed, undoubtedly, the most powerful black leader in America today.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Nobody else in America today could assemble 1 million or more
men of color.
Black, brown, indigenous people in one place. No one. Not Sharpton, not Jesse, not D12,
the last person that did that,
Black Panther Party, none of them.
The last person that did that was Martin Luther King.
Correct.
That's correct.
But Martin had a game plan. You might disagree with what his goals is, but he had goals and he had tactics, and those tactics were designed to make manifest the goals he had. His goals was the Voters' Rights Act. His goals was
Civil Rights Act.
The Civil Rights Act.
That's right.
His goals was protection against Jim Crow laws.
That's right.
His goals were to integrate the school system so that blacks could deal with education. Every one of his goals, he formulated a strategy for. There are no goals in place for any activist organization whatsoever.
And I do have a problem with that, because let me tell you, I am not a follower by any means of the Nation of Islam, nor the Minister Reverend Farrakhan. But his point is what he says is on point about the world itself, and the world doesn't like him because he does talk the truth about what's happening and what America stands for or lack thereof. With that said, the problem I have with this whole 20 million man march is this. Like you said, there's no action. There's nothing in place to move forward. 20 years have gone by.
A strategy.
Right. 20 years have gone by, and we didn't progress, we digressed. Secondly, Minister Farrakhan, Brother Minister Farrakhan, if you want to help America and black people, you're headquartered in Chicago. Chicago has one of the highest murder rates on a weekend, just on a weekend, than any city in the country. Let's start there.
But I'm not talking about murder rates, and I'm not talking about...
But they're a powerful organization.
Again, the people that were assembled there, he didn't bring together 2 million people from Chicago. He brought in 1 million to 2 million people, black, brown, and indigenous people from all over the country.
He did.
The problems in New York City are not exactly the same as the problem in Chicago, but the solutions are the same.
That's true.
What he did was assemble some of the wealthiest, most business-savvy people, black, brown, and indigenous people on the face of the earth today.
That's true.
And there was no strategy for weaponizing that wealth so as to empower our children, our grandchildren, our community to build we are in a competitive phase against every other group
of people
on the planet.
And when he says weaponized, that doesn't mean picking up a weapon.
No, I said weaponized wealth.
Weaponized wealth,
to be able to use the wealth and the power that you accumulate
to
inflict some sort of penalty towards those people and foundations that come against you in the community. The Jews have weaponized their wealth.
And every community has.
I'm talking about Israel and Palestine. I'm talking about America.
Every community in America has weaponized their wealth, except for ours. So that's why I say
we don't even talk about it.
That's the issue I have with Farrakhan. Was that grandstanding that he was doing? Would you call it grandstanding?
He did his job.
That wasn't his job. His job is you cannot sit there and get a million black people together and have no action plan. He did it 20 years ago.
But again, I think you're doing the same thing that activist groups are doing, and you're not taking into account reality. I don't think that he is capable of coming up with that.
Of course he's capable. Why wouldn't you say he's capable? He was capable to get 1 million people together in one place without any crime.
That's a hell of a lot different than figuring out how to empower 1 million people.
I don't believe so. He is a leader. Elijah Muhammad put him as leader of the nation. He was Muhammad. Yes, he did.
He didn't. There was a split in the Nation of Islam.
But they didn't split. He runs the Nation of Islam.
But he was.
He's a speaker on behalf.
The nation.
He's speaking on behalh of the Elijah Muhammad.
Just like the Catholic Church had a great schism, there was a great schism in the Nation of Islam. Elijah Muhammad's son, the Honorable Wardeen Muhammad, who we used to call Wallace Muhammad, went into a purely religious state. Farrakhan picked up the remnants of the Nation of Islam.
But he's running the Nation of Islam.
Yes, he is.
It's a very powerful organization.
And the Nation of Islam is fine. We're not talking about the Nation of Islam, how the Nation of Islam is doing.
But his goal was to empower black people together. But that's what he always said that. He said that. Again, he said that 20 years ago.
You said you were good looking. I don't know if that's the actual. I mean, there's a difference between what you say and what you actually do. And there's a difference between what you want to do and what you are capable of doing.
What is stopping him from doing it? I don't think it's a lack of knowledge. He's a very knowledgeable individual. What are you thinking? What do you think?
I disagree.
You don't think he's knowledgeable?
I don't think any of them are. Like I said before, I think that the different organizations have different agendas, but none of those agendas have anything to do with empowering the community so that the community is prosperous and powerful in the context of the 21st century. I don't think there's any organization that deals specifically of how we empower our children and their children and their grandchildren. I don't think any of them are. I think there's a bunch of activist organizations that's always talking about we got to pick up the gun. But none of y'all got enough money to buy a box of bullets.
Ammunition.
I think there's a lot of little progressive groups and whatnot. The Melissa Harris, the little snotty ass pseudo-intellectual professor types to talk a real good game,
but no action plan.
Intractable. You couldn't get into a debate about how we implement things with anything of them because they are so pompous. They're such pompous asses that you can't even talk to them about what the community needs.
But see,
we are being led by a bunch of people. First of all, I think it is a bit disingenuous. When you keep saying that you are some sort of socialist, but you got $1 million or two in the damn bank account,
of course you can be socialist then.
A platinum city card, a passport, and your ass is jet setting all over the place. Meanwhile, the people are starving to death, getting evicted. Your grandma right now, her ass is down there in eviction court. She don't know how to eat. The children don't know how to eat. There's no school system that's going to empower your children. There is no vision for the future of your children. And it's just get an education, get a job.
And you know what?
You're not going to empower yourself with that kind of agenda.
And that's the funny thing about our black community. Again, it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting different results. I.e.,
if you know that you're doing the same thing over.
But
but if you don't know you're doing the same thing
but you know
over,
what?
That's the definition of stupidity.
Okay, stupidity, insanity. Okay, fine.
Well, no, insanity is different.
No, well, see, here's the thing. Look at when
Being
Bill
insane
Cosby
is different from being a dumbass. I don't want to talk about Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby made a play for NBC. You do remember that? I'm not talking about
Quaaludes with him. Yeah. I want to talk about Bill Cosby.
Okay.
Because I'm going to cuss him out. And anybody who's going to say anything, I'm going to tell him you're wrong. That there's no way anybody, because I've been bad and I've been good. And I've sucked up every kind of thing that you ain't supposed to suck up in your whole life. And I've also de-suckified, and I don't do nothing.
Okay, let's focus back. Let's come back. Let's come right back.
Don't get high. The last thing you want in this bed is some chick full of Quaaludes. You know, that's right.
Stop.
That's the last
Can we go
thing
back
you
to
want.
Malcolm? Let's go back. Let's go back to the Nation of Islam. Listen. Okay, let's go back. Okay, we're digressing here. I wasn't speaking of Bill Cosby and some of his problems.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
My point about us, our black people, is that we have enough wealth among us to command.
But we don't focus in on our community. If you hear a bunch of them, it's a few things. Some of them, and they're all valid issues. But those issues, by and large, are not the issues that are mal-affecting the entire community.
What's mal-affecting the entire community is that we don't educate ourselves in technology, the future. We don't have any. It's technology because technology is the wave of the future.
But that's one aspect of it. We have no vision. We have no sense. Listen, I have never told, and my grandkids are real good on technology. They've had every kind of computer, every kind of contraption you could think of, every kind of camera, every kind of tablet.
Right.
I've made sure that they've had that personally. That's been my contribution.
Right.
But my biggest contribution is not to provide knickknacks and gadgets.
Right.
My biggest contribution is that I have tried to instill a sense of identity and a sense of purpose, frankly, that no one else has given them. I have never once told them what they should do with their lives.
Right.
What I have tried to do is give them the opportunity and expand their vision so as to understand that the whole world is your oyster. That you don't have to be limited to the choices that people give you.
That's exactly right.
You don't have to be a damn politician or a freaking policeman or you know.
You can be anything you want, though.
You can be an oceanographer.
Right.
I mean, you're a pilot.
Right.
I'm not saying that my grandkids may want to be pilots.
Right,
but they should be exposed
to every aspect of to making something for themselves.
It's not a bad thing to learn how to fly a helicopter.
Right.
You know, Elise, she's up there in Connecticut. The little white kids, they riding horses and whatnot.
Like I did. I grew up riding horses, right.
I'm not saying that I'm not telling you learn how to ride horses
but
so
be
you can be a
to
trick rider.
Right.
I'm saying that you are living in a time where you should understand that young man, you know, you're not coming up when I came up where the greatest piece of new technology was the damn 8-track.
Right.
The whole world is your thing.
Right.
I want you to go to cooking class.
Right.
You're gonna go to all the classes that Obama tell you to go to. Oh, just study math. But you might not want to study. You might not want to be an engineer. You might not want to run a hedge fund.
And that's what we need because I grew up differently. I grew up riding horses. I grew up fencing. I grew up swimming. I grew up skiing. I lived around the world. And that's what our kids. I do understand. This is what our kids need. Now, as far as a plan, you have more of a plan than any of these leaders.
Correct.
So why won't they listen to us?
Because I started at the bottom. Now I'm here. Most of them are, and excuse me, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, you love your leaders, but they all have lived their whole life with good jobs and whatnot.
They always had income.
They got income now. You know,
right.
so I mean, they got government money coming in. They're getting their pimp mobile, and it's not because they're bad people. This is what they
had no struggle.
And what they
had
know.
no struggle.
They don't know what it is for somebody to have to throw you an electric cord because
the electricity off. Right.
They don't know what it is to stay up all night because you don't know how to feed your kid.
Right.
And also, they talk about political prisoners. We have a whole bunch of people in jail.
Right here.
You know the biggest determinant of how many young people we have in jail and in the streets is by the lack of opportunity and options their parents have.
Right.
Their father ain't making no money.
Right.
The whole system is in chaos.
Right.
Until we bring order to the system itself,
but here's the thing,
a Band-Aid on anything else is just not a Band-Aid on cancer.
But we're not going to be able to bring the system out of chaos.
No.
So we have to do it ourselves. It takes our community to do this. You know,
Correct.
It takes our. It doesn't.
Correct.
We can't rely on the system. The system wasn't made. But I'm saying overall, a lot of us rely on the system.
But you know what I rely on? You know what I rely on? I rely on my grandson. I rely on my granddaughter. I rely on the fact that if I teach them well, they will be great leaders and they will take care of my family.
But everybody needs to do that.
Everybody. But this is the plan. That when you brought together 2 million people, when you brought together people who have in some instances, generated hundreds of millions of dollars.
Everybody there. This time,
they all can go home and spend their money.
Yeah.
They didn't have to come here. They can actually afford private jets.
Right. A lot of them did come on private jets. Trust me.
Got their own jets.
That's true.
They didn't need to do this. They came in good faith.
Right.
Trying to figure out how can I be of assistance, to my community.
Right.
And they were given no instruction and no direction. There is no vision. And cuss them out saying, well, he didn't get into the or else. Well, you ain't got no or else plan either.
Right.
I do know that you assembled for whatever reason, be it ignorance, be it arrogance, whatever reason it was, be it innocent or malevolent, you assimilated some of the most powerful black people in the world, and you
didn't
had
have a
no
plan. Right, you didn't have a plan. You didn't have a plan.
And that's the main problem.
And you know what? You know what?
But let's get off of that because we're almost at the 30-minute mark.
Let's go to Ben Carson real quick. Ben Carson, every time, he's a brilliant surgeon. Don't get me wrong. Black man in America that's done well for himself.
Well, he separated some heads once in his time.
But everything comes out of that man's mouth is ignorant when it comes to politics. Like,
no, it's not ignorant. It's stupid.
It's just, okay, ignorant, stupid.
Well, no.
He's an idiot.
I want you to think, I think...
There was an article...
Idiot is a good word.
Idiot. He's an idiot.
Right.
Everything... There's an article that was written by him out of this guy from GQ wrote it. And the name of the article, if you guys can see this, the name of the article, I don't want to say it.
Is F.U.
Ben Carson.
Right.
I actually invited Ben Carson to come on our show today.
Ben Carson is not going to do that.
There's an article that said, fuck Ben Carson. I'm just going to say it. This is public TV. I don't like using that word, but that's what the article said.
He likes using the word.
That's what the article said.
I know him.
And some of the things he says is replicating Trump's hot garbage spewing. That's what it is.
Right.
And I'm like, you're a black man in America. Don't you get it? When you get in your car, you're no different than you and I when you get stopped by the police. Don't you see that?
Right.
He doesn't see that. He said, at the Oregon shooter, when the Oregon shooter came along, he said, not only would I probably not cooperate with him, he said, I would not stand there and just let him shoot me.
Yeah, well,
he would say, hey, guys, let's all attack him.
Right.
He can't shoot all of us.
Right.
This guy had an automatic weapon.
Right.
He could have killed us all.
But they're going to shoot you.
They're going to shoot you first.
Because you're the one with the big mouth. You're the reason why everything is out of control. So I'm going to make sure, if I'm a shooter, I'm going to shoot
I'm going to shoot you first. Let's talk fact. Right.
And I'm going to shoot you in parts that you want first. I'm not going to just kill you. I'm going to shoot your pecker off. So you know you have nothing to live for by the time the bullet hits your brain.
But
I'm going to teach you a lesson.
But this is what killed me. This is disheartening. This man wants to be chief and commander of the United States.
Correct.
And he was
His logic was also that on the airplane, the young people bum rushed the guy. and disarmed him. What he fails to realize with his wrinkly old ass is the fact that those young people were military people in their 20s, big, strong guys who were built for combat,
who knows how to do that.
In the prime of their life.
Right.
If you think you wanted them, ask your wife. say, honey, when you're getting out the shower and before you put on your drawers and your belly is hanging over your pecker, you know, and to say, do I look like I look?
Hey, listen.
Right. Ask your wife. And she tell you. She said, now look at him and look at me. You know.
But one of the most disheartening things he said, he was in a Popeyes. And a gunman.
That was some BS. Yeah.
First of all, I can't imagine Ben Carson being in a Popeyes. Right. But he was in a Popeyes. Right. A gunman walked in and stuck a gun in his ribs.
Right.
And he said to the gunman, I'm not the one you want. The cashier is the one you want. He threw the cashier under the bus. Brother? Brother?
And I don't know why you were hanging on to your little money so much if you're in the Popeyes, and the chicken gonna kill you later.
Mr. Brain Surgeon?
Chicken gonna kill your ass. You know, but that was some stuff. You make up stories and you just get to going with the stories you make up.
But you make up these dumbass stories, and I don't usually use profanity, but this has got me so heated.
When you write fairy tales, you don't write them for adults. You write them for children.
But children ain't even buying this.
No, but dumb people are.
And a lot of dumb people.
For dumb people. I mean, I'm looking up. Anybody with a brain is looking up, going, What the hell is
he talking about? Right.
However, that's not what the Republican base is looking at. The Republican base is eating this silly noise up.
But look at the Republican base.
He's in second place.
But look who's in first place. Another a bigger idiot.
Correct.
Bigger idiot.
Donald Trump, Ben Carson, and Carly Fiorina controls 60%, together controls 60% of the entire Republican base.
Right. What's wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that? You got a bunch of clowns trying to get into the White House to run this country. Now, Black America, let's just talk about Black America at the Trump rallies in the South.
Right.
Really?
Right.
This man could care less about you, but yet, where does he go? Where do all white people go when they want the black vote? They go to church. And the black people buy that crap. That's what kills me.
Yeah, I know. I know. And where do priests go when they want some butt? They go to grammar school.
I can't even believe you said that. I can't even believe you said that.
I'm not letting you off the hook. I'm not letting you off the hook. You know, I'm not letting you off the hook. But when you want to victimize something, you go to those people who are natural born victims.
Right.
You go to those people who cannot defend themselves. You don't promise stuff to grown people because they'll beat the hell out of you.
Right. Because they don't make. Because you're not going to tell me anything. Right.
Because
you're not going to tell me. We got calls.
Right.
We got calls.
The reason why. Okay.
Let's
and I want to get to the
debate tonight.
Right. Because that's also lack of any political options.
Right. Caller, welcome
for the black community.
Caller, welcome to 30 Frames a Second. You're on the air.
Assalamualaikum, brothers. How y'all
Walaikum salam.
Turn that up some, guys.
Yes. I just want to say, brother, first of all, our people have been separated for so long through slavery over 500 years until we are not united enough to make things happen as fast as you want. Also, brother, you got to realize that Farrakhan did a very outstanding thing because he brought all these people together. Now, it's incumbent upon us, Brother Greg, to make things happen.
I agree.
And to come up with solutions and to come together as a people.
I agree.
Being separated and oppressed for so long, that is hard to do. And I got to give the man his reward for doing what he did. He brought pastors together. Right. He brought indigenous people together. He brought people of all persuasions together. And the main thing is that he was saying that we have a right as a people to defend ourselves, and we need to stop letting these white people murder our people and get away with it. Now it's upon all of us to come back to our communities and come up with solutions to do that. That is my comment.
Thank you,
Y'all
brother.
brothers keep doing a great job.
All right, thank you, brother.
good.
Thank you. That was good. He was a good point.
We got
Let's get another call. We got a bunch of calls.
I'd like to get back.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Here's great. We'll take this. Let's take this one call and go back. Caller,
we got a bunch of calls.
Caller, welcome to 30 Frames.
Good afternoon, John.
Hey, man, how are you?
All right. I'm not a fan of Minister Farrakhan. I watched the whole Million Man March and including his speech, and I will say that at least the man addressed what's wrong with our people. He addressed what we do to each other and what white supremacy is doing to us. Now, he asked for 10,000 strong black men and women to go into the inner cities. Personally, we need more than 10,000, because 10,000 you could just put in Chicago alone.
Right.
And the rest of the world, you know, it's crazy. And then we need more than a plan that just consists of some land, some navy bean soup, and some whole wheat bread.
Right.
We as a people, we need something more stronger than that.
Right.
Right.
And if I may make light of one thing that he said that we take the names of our slave masters and take them for ourselves instead of naming ourselves after our African ancestors. Well, if I don't remember any slave masters with the names of Daquan, Raekwon, and slave masters' wives named Reniqua.
Right. I
I
agree.
don't know where those names are. I don't know where those names are coming from. Maybe they had some Ebonic African ancestors back there that have taken on these names. But you know, in life, we are living. The world right now is the twilight zone on crack, and
Right.
this is crazy. And if people don't wake up and realize what's going on, Donald Trump is going to be president.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
That's going to be some hell, because Donald Trump doesn't care about black people.
Doesn't care about anybody that's not rich.
He doesn't care about anybody but Donald Trump.
That's correct.
And for all these people, especially the black ones, that are running around saying Trump is keeping it real. Well, you know something? Thugs keep it real too.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right, thank you, brother. We got like a bunch of calls
left.
all right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank
all
you.
Thank you, man.
Okay,
Thank
really
you. I'd
quick.
like to
Let's
address some of that
okay. You want to address something right now?
No,
Okay.
I want to let the callers.
Caller, welcome to 30 Frames. You're on the air.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
I just want to make a comment on Ben Carson.
All right.
I've heard him talk, and what I got of what he says is, what he's saying is, look, I've got mine, you get yours if you can. That's all it, and that's what generally the whole country is saying. That's what the system is all about. It's about greed and selfishness, you know. And there's two ways of thinking. You can think individually, or you can think collectively. This country is conditioned to think individually. I got mine, you get yours. It's not the government doesn't think about what's best for everybody, but people don't think about what's best for everybody. They think of what's best for them individually, and that's it.
Thank you,
All
brother.
right,
Thanks.
man. Thank you.
Caller, welcome to 30 Frames. You're on the air.
Hi, caller, you're on.
Hey, peace, man. What's up, fellas?
Peace.
Hello.
Hey, you're on.
You're on.
Okay, all right, thank you. Listen, just tuned in. Great show, fellas. As always,
thank you.
man.
Thank you.
for
Thank
all
you,
your
man.
work, man. I do tune in a lot to all the M&M channels.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
Listen, it's really becoming elementary now. I feel, brothers, all we got to do is recognize that we convey $1 trillion a year. If we can get that far to understand that even in the stupid hood and get stupid hood people to stop buying things,
Right.
that's a big step.
Yep.
We need not be concerned about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not in power. He is not in, you know what I'm saying, brother?
Right,
He's
right,
not
right,
in power.
right.
He is a pawn for the powerful brokers, which are the international bankers.
Right,
So
that's
we need
right.
to find out those
Good point.
weasels in the ground. We need to
Right.
dig them up the ground. Don't worry about Donald Trump. But Trump does say profound things. He does talk about China. So when he says China, we need to watch that Chinese man. That's what we need to put our eyes on. Don't worry about all his antics and all his extra women. Don't focus on that. We need to focus on who is in power. Thank you, brothers. Peace and love.
All right,
One more
thank
call.
you,
We're going to take
brother.
one more
Yeah,
call.
we'll take one more call.
Caller,
You know,
welcome to 30
I'll
Frames
get
a
to some
second.
of
You're
that.
on the air. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air,
You're
brother.
on the air, caller.
Yeah. Once again, y'all brothers is doing an excellent show.
Thank you,
and
brother.
whatnot.
Thank you,
And
brother.
as always, when I listen to y'all, my mind just starts turning and whatnot.
Good.
Right,
That's
good. That's excellent.
You know, just like with Obama and whatnot, I'm guilty of basically, when I'm thinking of Justice or else in Farrakhan's upcoming speech, I basically projected all my wants and needs on this man. And I ain't gonna lie, I was left kind of flat in the sense that I didn't think he addressed it the way I wanted him to.
Right.
Because I've heard this brother just like spit fire and brimstone in so many other of his speeches that basically what he did was watered down. But in all fairness, you know, when I think about the total sum of our experiences, one thing we need to do as black folks is we need to hold our tongue and stop undercutting each other in our efforts to do the right thing, especially whenever you have a position to be in front of a camera and whatnot. Because one of the things the enemy does is just sit back and take notes. And before you know it, when you get in a confrontation with these people, they're hitting you over the head with your own words.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a lot. You know, like I was thinking about, the brother was talking about why don't he do something with Chicago. You got to understand, even though, yeah, you know, it's like senseless slaughter and things like that, a lot of that stuff, that insanity is attached to people's inability to get right economically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I believe Farrakhan knows if he tries to interfere with those gangs, he's going to be busy with a gang war in Chicago. He's going to basically expend all of his resources trying to fight our own people in his own backyard.
So but is your suggestion is to let the Chicago Police Department deal with it, or what?
My suggestion is that brother has to handle what he can handle and whatnot. And he's doing what he can and whatnot. We have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to contribute to things and whatnot?
Correct.
I'm sure that he has some kind of outreach program out there. But I'll tell you what, man, a grumble in the stomach is a hell of a lot louder than any positive.
I don't think people heard what you said.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need to say that again. Say that again, brother. A rumble in your stomach.
A rumble in stomach is a lot louder than any positive message you can give me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People got to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it all boils down to. And I'm not trying to minimize things.
That's not minimizing. That's being real.
Right on point. That's right.
I'm not trying to minimize or justify what a gang member does or anything like that, but everything has a cause and effect. And a lot of times we have to understand, well, I look at life as a conveyor belt.
Correct.
What happens to you, eventually it'll happen to me.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? We got to stop acting like our upbringing and so on and so forth sets us apart from each other because, we have a common enemy. So irregardless if you're a Jew, Egyptian, whatever you think you are and whatnot, as long as we have a common enemy, we're going to have to be in the trenches together, and we got to figure it out. That brother, stay up.
All right,
brother. Thank you.
And let me say this, because now the Lower East Side is the East Village. They got a whole lot of rich white folks and whatnot.
Right.
And the difference between, and I'm not even talking about a gang perspective.
Right.
I'm talking about a survival perspective. There's a different attitude and a different mentality you have when money doesn't mean anything to you because you got a whole bunch of it than it does when your kids are starving, when you don't know how you're going to feed them, when the rent is due, when they're cutting off your phone, where you don't know how you're going to live day to day, month to month.
Right. Hour to hour.
The difference between the East Village and the Lower East Side was starving, the East Village is rich. If you drop your damn wallet and there's $100 in your wallet, white people will pick up the wallet, run 2 blocks to hand you back your wallet. You know why? Because money don't mean nothing to them.
Right. Opposed to
the little kids, the 12-year-old kids, they all walking around with $2,000 cameras. You know why? If you break it, so what? We get you another one. It doesn't mean anything to you. It's not life or death. What I'm talking about is not focusing. Again, and you have to deal with the reality of the situation. The gangs as exist now. But I am telling you point blank that if we have a plan in place to empower our communities
and our children,
to get our children their options, later on in life, not only will they be greater warriors with less bloodshed, but people will fear them, fear their economics,
and they will
fear
become
their
leaders.
Intelligence, and not only that, they will be good stewards of their own family and their own legacy.
We got one more call. Okay, caller, you're on the air. Welcome to 30 Frames.
Yeah, I have a quick comment I'd like to make.
All right, make it quickly.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, Mr. Farrakhan should realize one thing, that the reason why you have black on black crime is the same reason you have police on black crime. No, it's why you have you know, what do you do with a horse with a broken leg? You shoot him. Why? You put him out of his misery, out of his suffering, out of his pain.
You can answer this.
The same reason black and black see the same. They see the black brothers the same way. I'm saying, and police, if you're not successful in this country, and you don't have a car, you don't have a house, you don't have a good job, you don't have a good schooling, they look at you like, you know, well, let's be put. But they do put you out of your misery and shoot you. That's what they do.
We're going to address that, brother. We're going to address that, brother.
All right, we'll address that. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
You know what? Handle that.
Well, the police broke the damn horse's leg in the first place. So,
but the black on black crime, that's just another way.
Again, you are praying. The predators isolate the weak link.
Right.
We are the weak link in society.
Right.
The only way we are going to get any redress to our condition is to stop being the weakest link.
Right.
We are the poorest community. We are cussing out immigrants. We are cussing out gays. We're cussing out the white people. But in point of fact, we are in the best position to do something because by and large, we ain't got nothing, so we ain't got nothing to lose.
But yet we
let me tell you something. You saw Austin Powers. He said, I'm going to hold you hostage for $1 million. The guy looked at him and says, $1 million? That ain't no damn money. I'm telling you, 30 million people, $1 trillion for spending. Much of that is rent and food and core inflation stuff that don't even count the price of oil. Negro, you ain't got no money. And the people that keep telling you that you have consumer power, by and large, are the same damn Negroes that collect $1 million to open up a freaking hotel in Africa and want you to buy their shit. They are not helping you to get power. I am telling you now because, like I said, I work for nobody. I'm a free agent. My only concern is the community. My only concern is black people. My primary concern is not the Nation of Islam. My primary concern is not the new Black Panther Party. My primary concern is not the December 12th coalition. I love them all. My primary concern, I ain't running for anything. I don't want your damn vote. So I really don't care whether you like the truth or not. I don't want to be your councilman, your alderman, or your damn president. As a matter of fact, I'm an old man. All I want to do is go hang out in Jamaica some freaking where with a fine young thing that's going to call me Fat Daddy. But I am telling you, my primary concern is empowering my family and my community and people who have been locked out of the system. And any plan that does not put that first and foremost in the conversation, I'm out of there. The meeting is adjourned. I don't care who you say you are in this story.
And that's just the bottom line. That was well said. Because we don't, our leaders, the whole $1 Million Man March thing,
he brought together 2 million. I wish I could bring together, boy. I'm gonna tell you.
You know what we could do?
If I could bring 2 million.
I think we can. I think we can.
I think we can. With money and power,
I think we could do that.
Believe me.
Look how many followers we have in social media.
We've been running teams.
Well, wait.
We've been Damian Marley up in here.
Hey, look. Let me address this. I want because we only got 10 minutes left. Let me address this. I got a lot of social media saying that I should run for public office. Okay. Here we go, Nat. Me and you. We can work the community. No.
I'm not. I don't want no office job. I don't want to sit. I get how much money you pay me. I don't want to sit in no damn cubicle.
Well, let me just. I'm just going to address this for my man Andy. I have no political aspirations. Been there, done that. I'm like Nat. I'm a free agent. I run a jet service. private jet service, right? I can do more in my community as a free agent than I can as a councilman because I don't play politics
and I'm
really
just
well.
loose. I'm not, I just want to, play Nat King Cole records, and
78.
Right. Well,
let's talk about the debate tonight.
Hillary and
Sanders, Bernie,
and
Bernie straight up says he's a socialist.
Bernie ain't no damn socialist.
He's a rich socialist. Isn't that an oxymoron? That's an oxymoron, right? Hillary.
That's BS.
Hillary, and then Biden's going to try to get into the game.
Biden ain't coming in.
Just talk. Hillary, by and large, this election will probably win.
I'm not even going to handicap the race. No matter who gets in, it's a period of adjustment for black people, and I'm talking about. First of all, this is a period of adjustment for black people anyway.
Anyway, yes.
And it's. I have said before that we're going to have to fight a civil war and a revolutionary war simultaneously.
Right.
That there are some of the smartest, most focused young people waiting in the wings.
Right.
And you got some of the most selfish, stupid, intractable old farts
that's holding you up.
That are holding the whole thing down.
Right.
They won't die. They won't move.
Right.
They keep saying the same damn thing over and over again.
Right.
They have no intention of empowering the community. They don't even think of that as an option.
Right.
But waiting in the wings, we
have
genius material that have been taught by people who actually believe in them and believe in us.
Right.
And let me say this about white folks. You can say what you want, and we got a couple of calls. We're going to take this call because we're running out of time. But let me say this about white folks. No matter what white folks think or don't think, they have a problem. They have a recessive gene and a dwindling and a dwindling population.
True. Caller, you're welcome.
We're going to take over. As a matter of fact, my high yellow face is their future, whether they know it or not.
Caller, welcome to 30 Frames. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air, brother.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, okay. I'll be real quick. Hey,
all right.
I just want to say what up, Nat Wood, what up, Greg Lassiter.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Nat, you were on fire, man. I just want to say, I say your presence in the whole universe, and I totally agree with, your stance on things because it's not about running for office. And, those are a bunch of clowns who are all of them, Hillary Clinton, and we just have to empower ourselves. And I like what you said. I work for nobody. I'm a free agent.
Right.
And that's how, and it's a spiritual fight. And I think this is, just basically, this is a spiritual fight, 99.9% spiritual. And once we understand that, I didn't catch the speech with Minister Louis Farrakhan. I mean, I respect him. I'm not a
Right. Well, it was 2 hours of it. I only took a small section. He said a lot of things, none of which was a lot of what people expected. But there were some good points in the speeches. But it was very low key. But he had a lot of people who were there not to listen to a whole lot of stuff about the mothership and Jay-Z, the Illuminati. My landlord was the Illuminati. I don't know about Jay-Z.
Okay, look. Thank you, brother, for calling.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
One question.
Sure.
What will change by this time next year? Now, what should we?
By this time next year?
Give me one thing that will advance our cause. One thing that you think, and one thing that will take it away. Peace, Hotel, reinstate automatic. I love you, brother.
All right, thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
One thing, brother.
I tell you what exactly is going to happen next year.
What?
It's going to be worse than this year.
Yep.
People are going to catch more hell than they catch this year.
I agree.
And as the hell that you catch increases exponentially, you're going to have to make new decisions.
Right.
We got one more call. We're running out of time. We only got like a minute, so you're going to have to get it in quick.
You're on the air, 30 Frames. Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. I just want to say, when your kids ask you, why should I study in college? Tell them you should study economics, political science, law or sociology. Why that? Because they've been oppressed in all these things in this country. And by learning those things, they can help themselves and their community.
We're running out of time.
Good,
thank you, brother.
Okay.
I disagree. I think that you should never stop learning. You should learn anything available to you. If that's what's available to you, learn it. Again, I'm a Renaissance kind of guy.
So am I.
You know, I mean, I got cameras and stuff in my house. I also got musical instruments. I also got freaking hammers and drill guns and you know. I believe that whatever is available to you,
use it.
Like Adam said, what's in your hand? Whatever's in your hand, make the most of it.
Right.
I guarantee you that if you never stop learning, if you never stop reaching, if you teach your children and your grandchildren that to never stop reaching, no matter what happens, you're going to build a power base.
Right. And I want to say this. Okay, we got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Nat, first of all, thank you for letting me host your show. It's always a pleasure. I love being here. Guys, listen, we don't give up hope. Nat and I, we're in the forefront of the fight every day, 24 hours a day, not just when you see us on TV. You can follow us on Facebook. You can find Nat Wood Greg Lassiter on Facebook. We interact with each other. We get into a lot of political comments, and debates and or whatnot. Guys, this is real. It doesn't get any more real. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So, you know, just keep forging ahead and don't give up hope. Because I always say, reach for the moon. If you miss, you're still among the stars. You know?
And no matter what happens, you, black man, you, black women, have to be in charge of your own future. If you are looking around for someone else to give you direction, you are SOL, because the only pockets that they are filling up are their own. You're going to have to make your way. You're going to have to get back to taking care of your family. You're going to have to make decisions that empower your community. When I get in a whole lot of stuff on the internet, they talk about, well, Martin said we should. Fine, but show me an egg that Martin paid for in this one. Not one. Not one.
All right, we out.
If I don't do it, it don't get done. If you don't do it, it won't get done. I don't care if they don't like me, because they ain't got no eggs in my house either. Peace. We out.
Nat, thanks.